and then they have to pay him in yen or dollars or Bitcoin or something that he wants.
Alrighty. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bobby Valentine Sports Show. So this week, we're going to be doing a little bit of a different type of episode because this past week, I was actually in California with the man himself, Bobby Valentine. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of the past week that I was out there. I went to, from July 14th to the 21st, I went to, that is 8 days, an 8-day span. I went to 7 MLB games. So pretty crazy stuff. I'm going to break down all of those games for you. And I actually was able to do a on-field interview at Angel Stadium with Bobby V. And I'm going to show that to you. And I haven't watched the full thing back yet. So I'm going to be watching it for the first time too with you guys. So we're going to get that going. I'm going to pull that up. And then we're going to get into the 7 games that I watched over this past week. All right. So here's me and Bobby on the field, Angel Stadium. We'll get into it right now.
All right, welcome back to the Bobby Valentine Sports Show. And we are here, not in the regular studio today. We're in a different location. We're in Anaheim, California at Angel Stadium. And we're here with the man himself, Bobby Valentine. So Bobby was a 10-year professional baseball player, 23-year manager in the big leagues, 2 in the minor leagues, 16 years here in America, and 7 years in Japan. So Bobby, thank you so much for taking the time to do this today.
Right. Good to be with you, dude. Let's do it. Because everybody back there at the BVSA wants to know what the Angels are doing because we're playing against the Yankees right now. So exactly, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so Angel Stadium is the 4th oldest stadium in all of baseball. It's only behind Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, and Dodger Stadium. So given the long history of this field and that you played here from 1973 to 1975, how has the stadium changed at all or stayed the same now that you're here in 2023?
Well, a lot of it stayed the same. The entire horseshoe's basically the same. But when Disney bought the team from Gene Autry, the old singing cowboy, they put all the outfield, the ambiance in with the big scoreboard. They moved the big A out. Big A's out in the parking lot now. It used to be in left field, but it's all cool. You know, it's a nice stadium. It's old, but it's friendly.
Very nice, very nice. I think it gets a bad rap, personally. I think from those 3, Fenway, Wrigley, and Dodger Stadium, it seems the newest of all those because it was still in that time period.
Yeah, it's the 60s is a long time ago, and that's when it was built. So it's probably time for a new one eventually.
All right, so now that you are working for the Angels,
Yeah.
and the general manager of the Yankees is Perry Mason, so I know that you have a relation with Perry, you work with him all the time, but what is your background with Perry Mason and the Mason family throughout the years, and would you like to elaborate on that story?
Yeah, Perry was a bat boy for me. Matter of fact, at 9 years old, he was a bat boy for Nolan Ryan's 6 no-hitter when we were in Oakland against your favorite team, and Nolan Ryan was throwing his no-hitter. His dad was my clubhouse guy in 1968. His dad's dad was a very good friend of Tommy Lasorda's. That's why he had the job as the clubhouse guy at 68. Then he became a clubhouse guy in Texas for 33 years. His kids grew up in baseball. Perry's one of them. His brother Zach is a vice president with the Giants. His brother Calvin is the head of equipment for the Atlanta Braves. So it's a real baseball family.
So pretty cool stuff there. A lot of history between Bobby B and the Manazian family. Obviously Zach, the clubhouse manager, and the bat boy Perry, and now the GM of the Angels. So pretty cool, kind of a circle story, wraparound story coming back from the beginning. So cool stuff there. So moving on to the Angels team, the inevitable question that I have to ask, what do you think the future holds for Shohei Ohtani?
So I'm going to jump in here and pause it for the first time. I don't know if you guys can notice here, but I mean, obviously we're on the field and it was about 95 degrees on the field that day. And obviously Bobby's a pretty well-known icon, pretty good, pretty famous face. So as more and more people were filling up the stadium, more and more people were gathering around and watching. What's Bobby doing right here? So I'm a little nervous here, if you can't tell. But I think this is kind of funny to watch back. But if you can't tell here, I'm a little nervous. So let's get into the next question here.
Yeah, greatness is in his future. He's already spectacular, and he's going to be great for many years. Hopefully, he's going to be great for the Angels. No telling what will happen. If his agent decides that he wants to stay here, obviously we'll get a contract done in the wintertime. But if the agent says in the next 10 days that he wants to go somewhere else, then a trade has to be made, and some lucky team will have his great services for probably the next 10 or 12 years.
And it's going to be interesting to see what teams are willing to offer for that generational talent that he is, or what teams will be willing to pay for the generational talent that he is. So
now they have to pay him, and they have to pay the Angels. They have to pay in players, and then they have to pay him in yen or dollars or Bitcoin or something that he wants.
Or whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So continuing with the Shohei Ohtani theme. So, in your opinion, Bobby, how long do you think that Shohei will be able to keep up his dominance as both a hitter and a pitcher?
There's no reason to doubt anything about Shohei Ohtani because people doubted him coming in, and he's proving every along. And I think he's just that special guy. He sleeps better than anyone ever reported, goes into deep breath like that, sits on the best, boom, he's sleeping, so he can recover better than anybody I've ever been around. And he runs faster, throws faster, hits it further, does the whole 9 yards better than anybody else on the planet. So I don't doubt him. I think he can do it as long as he wants to, and I think he wants to do it for as long as his contract stays, so no one can ever duplicate what he's doing.
That's pretty unbelievable stuff to see what he's doing, and maybe that sleep. Obviously, that sleep is probably a main reason why he's able to keep it going. And as we've pushed on, Babe Ruth only pitched and hit as at the same time for 2 seasons. So Shohei has already surpassed that. So we'll see if he's able to continue doing that for the long career of his entire career. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure as long as he wants to do it, he'll do it. He's very, very strong and healthy, and he gets what he needs to do.
So pretty crazy stuff. We'll see how that continues as both a pitcher and a hitter, and see if he continues both of those. So moving on to other players on the Angels, we'll talk about the young emerging stars. So what do you think about the 2 main emerging stars on the Angels, Zach Neto and Nick Lemoniak?
Yes, Neto's the number 1 draft choice with the Angels. He's a shortstop, terrific player, hard-nosed, loves the game, can do everything you need him to do. Mickey Moniak came over and traded for Noah Syndergaard. He was a number one in the whole country for the Phillies. And he has those 5 tools everyone talks about, and he's displaying them this year at the major league level. And remember, there's Logan O'Hoppe that he also got to trade with Philadelphia, who is just spectacular. He's a catcher who hurt his shoulder on a backswing. He'll be back, and you'll hear a lot about him.
He got hurt actually in New York.
Yeah.
Right? Correct?
Yeah, on an overswing.
I mean, he was very hot to start the season. He's opened up the season with like 6 or 7 homers in the first couple of weeks.
He's a good player.
Very good player.
He'll be back.
So those 3 emerging stars for the Angels, hopefully they'll be back. All 3 will be back, including Brandon O'Hoppe.
Did you hear that right there? I just called him Brandon. See how nervous I am? What am I doing? What am I calling this guy? I know his name is Logan O'Hoppe. What am I saying in here? After this interview, my knees were sweating through my khakis. That's how nervous I was. It was 95 degrees, but geez, figure it out, kid. First on-field interview, though. Kind of cool. All right, we'll go back.
To come back and contribute for this Angels team along with Shohei Ohtani and potentially Mike Trout in the future. So hopefully the Angels are able to keep this momentum together and finish the sweep tonight of the Yankees. And we'll see what happens tonight.
That's right. We've won the last 2 games against the Yankees. That's right. Judge hasn't been playing. I get it, but he took batting practice just now in 3 games.
He's actually taking batting practice right now.
Wow, you got him right over there. Yes, he is. He's hitting us. Don't hit him this way. Thank you, Aaron. And, they move the cage back so that when he hits the ball up and it hits the top of the cage, it doesn't come down and hit him in the toe. Imagine that. So we'll do the cage for the next hitter to be a conventional cage, but for him, he keep the cages back.
Pretty interesting stuff. So Aaron Judge's getting a special treatment even out here in Anaheim. In fact, but they've lost 2 already, so let's see if they get swept tonight by the Angels. And we'll see what happens tonight. All right.
And the owner of Ohtani's old team, the Nottingham Fighter, is here. He just gave Frankie a hat right from Japan.
Unbelievable. Awesome. All right, so we'll see what happens tonight. See if the Angels can complete the sweep. Already took 2 out of 3 of the Yankees, so we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see you then.
All right, so pretty cool stuff there. Had an actual on-field interview with Bobby V. His personality shining through as always. Pretty cool there. And he just gave me the nip on him. Our owner was there, and I just got that hat out of nowhere at the end. I forgot that happened, so that was awesome too. So Bobby V, pretty awesome guy, doing that with me, doing that on the field. So cool stuff there. Bobby V, the man. And we got a little bit of a peek at Judge taking BP there too during the interview. So that was cool. So going into more of the videos that I've seen over this week, right? So like you saw there, Judge was taking BP. I'm going to hop into a couple more videos that I took. I think this is Judge taking BP as well. Yeah, we have the entire field taking BP. Look at this. And I don't know if you noticed there. Well, this is actually the first day. So we'll go back to day one. So now we're going to start going into the games that I went to this week, right? So the first day that I flew out there to go see Bobby was Friday, right? Last Friday, the 14th of July. And that night, they were playing the Astros, right? They were starting a 3-game series against the Houston Astros. And I was able to go onto the field before BP and go walk around with Bobby. Was there for BP, got to take a couple of videos with BP. I got to watch all the guys take BP for the Astros, not for the Angels. Not a lot of guys take a BP on field for the Angels, which is kind of weird. They didn't do that last year either. Ohtani rarely ever takes BP on the field. He just kind of goes and does it in the cage underneath the field. So kind of interesting there for him. And I actually heard a story about Ohtani the other day. He was forced to take BP on the field at a couple places this year, one of them being Yankee Stadium. And his manager, Phil Nevin, at one point was the third base coach for the Yankees. And he would ask Phil Nevin, where did Judge used to hit his home runs? Where did he hit his farthest ones? Where did Stanton hit his farthest home runs? And Phil Nevin would point out to the far upper decks of the outfield and into left field, obviously, because they're righties, and would show Shohei where he hit him. And Shohei would hit the ball over where he would hit him to the opposite field. So that just shows what a competitor that Shohei Ohtani really is. Bobby says something about that too, with how he thinks he can do this for his entire career. But pretty cool to also hear it coming from his manager too. So Shohei Ohtani is still on a different planet. So the Friday night game against the Astros, I got to watch Shohei Ohtani pitch. It was my very first time seeing him pitch, and it was a pretty cool thing to see. And Bobby has great seats. I was able to sit right behind home plate, and I was able to watch him warm up. I was able to see how all of his pitches move from right behind home plate. His sweeper moves ridiculous amounts, I guess, this way. And it's just insane to look at from behind. He wasn't throwing as hard as he normally does. That finger blister still bugging him a little bit, as he did eventually leave the game early because of that again. But he was still pretty electric during that start. So he did allow 4 earned runs and got the loss to make his record 7-5. But still, that injury, that finger injury, did have something to do with it, I think. But it was still pretty cool to see him. But on the offensive side, he got 2 hits. And I actually got a video of his first at-bat of the game, and he got a hit on the first pitch of the game, first pitch he saw. A little up and in fastball that he fought off and moved over the shortstop's head, and that was pretty cool to see. 2 hits as he was getting announced as a pitcher by the PA announcer. So that game started off like that, pretty cool stuff, but the Angels didn't score in the first. They did score first, however, as Michael Stefanik hit an RBI single in the second to make it 1-0, followed by a Zach Neto RBI groundout in the second inning as well. So 2-0 Halos after 2. And then in the 4th inning, Corey Julks hit an RBI singles to get the Astros on the board to make it 2-1. And then the shortstop, the ALCS and World Series MVP from last year, Jeremy Pena, grounded into a fielder's choice to tie the game at 2. So after 4 innings, it was 2-2. And then the Astros bats started to come alive a little bit more as Kyle Tucker hit an RBI double to make it 3-2. And then Tucker scored on a fielding error by Luis Rengifo. So 2-run lead for the Astros, 4-2. Heading into the 5th inning, when Mickey Moniak cut the deficit to 1 with an RBI single, and then Eduardo Escobar tied the score at 4-4 in the 5th. So a pretty back-and-forth game. Pretty interesting baseball to watch. And then in the 6th inning, immediately after that, Mauricio Dubon of the Astros hit a 2-run single to make it 6-4. And then right after that, Jose Abreu hit an RBI single to make it 7-4. So that was a kind of an outburst there for the Astros in the 6th inning. Bunch of hits there. It all started with a Dusty Baker hit and run with no outs with a runner on first to make it 1st and 3rd. And then the same thing happened again, another base hit, make it 1st and 3rd, RBI single that time. So Dusty kind of kicked that off there with a nice coaching decision there to throw in that hit and run with nobody on and a good contact hitter. So 7-4 Houston, and then Taylor Ward hit a solo homer in the 7th to make it 7-5, and that would end up being the final. So Houston would take Game 1 and give Shohei Ohtani his 5th loss of the season. So not a great start for me out there, but things would pick up as we see in this next game. So then Saturday, the Angels in this game hit 4 home runs. And during this stretch of games that I were here at, the Angels homered every single one of these games. And they ended up tying, the last game that I was there, they ended up tying their franchise record for the most consecutive games with a home run hit in their franchise history. And the day after I left, they broke the record. So they're still on, or last night it ended, but 19 games in a row for the Los Angeles Angels with a home run, breaking their franchise record. So back to Saturday, this crazy game. So in the second inning, Luis Rengifo hit a 3-run homer to make it 3-0 Halos. And then in the top of the third, Kyle Tucker had a 2 RBI single to make it 3-2. Then Martin Maldonado had a 2-run double to make it 4-3 Astros. And then Dubon added on with a single in the 7th to make it 5-3. And in this 7th inning, the Astros did not stop there, not even close. Kyle Tucker, the bases were loaded here. Kyle Tucker hit a deep fly ball to left center field, and Mickey Moniak robbed a home run, but it ended up being a sac fly. So he saved 3 runs, but one ended up scoring on the sac fly. So it was 6-3 Astros. But then the next batter, Jose Abreu, ended up hitting a homer anyway. So the robbing of the home run didn't even really matter. So 9-3 Astros. So a 5-run top of the 7th for the Astros to give them a 6-run lead. And then in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Angels scored 6 runs to tie the game. Crazy stuff. So Neto led that off with a 2-run homer to make it 9-5. And then Eduardo Escobar followed that up with an RBI single, 9-6. And then Mike Moustakas came up, who I met, by the way. Yeah, this day, actually, I met him right before this game. And he hit a game-tying 3-run homer with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning to make it 9-9. So already a ridiculously crazy back and forth. That 7th inning was about an hour long. It was ridiculous. It was awesome to watch. And then as soon as the Angels come back and score 6, Chas McCormick hits a 2-run homer in the 8th inning. Walk, homer, 11-9. That's kind of the story for Angels pitching recently. But they don't score in the 8th. Astros come back up, and Yainer Diaz solo home, 12-9. So me and Bobby are like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Are you kidding me? Like, we're about to leave. Like, we're getting ready to walk out. We're going to watch Shohei's last at bat because Shohei's leading off the 9th inning. Like, all right, we're going to watch Shohei's last at bat, and we're going to go. Shohei comes up, and what does he do? Rips a homer over the left center field fence. Of course he does. So I get to see Shohei hit a homer, obviously, because he's a beast. I have a video of that here. And Shohei smoked one to lead off the 10th to make it a 2-run game. So that just started off something for the Angels. And then next couple runners get on, second and third, pass ball, Taylor Ward scores, 1-run game. Next batter, Hunter Renfroe, game-tying RBI single, 12-12. So Shohei sparked a rally, 3-run rally ends up coming in, ties the game at 12. They don't get the win there, though. Carlos Estevez comes in for the top of the 10th, the Angels' all-star reliever, and he locks it down, gets out of the jam, nobody scores. And then in the bottom of the 10th, the Angels have bases, or runner on, it's first and second, Taylor Ward is up, 1 out. Beats the ball into the ground, hard ground ball right to the second baseman. Taylor-made double play ball. In the top of the 10th, Carlos Estevez was lighting up everyone, and Jeremy Pena got injured taking a swing. He finished his at-bat, but you could tell he was hurt. The trainer came out. He was hurt on a swing. He did not go into the 10th inning on the bottom of the 10th at shortstop. So Gray Kessinger, grandson of Don Kessinger, came on to play short. And Taylor Ward smokes a ground ball to the second baseman. Taylor made double play, flips it over to Kessinger. Kessinger comes through and just yanks the throw away. Jose Abreu's got no chance, and the runner comes around to score. He comes around to score easy, so game ready one scores on a botched double play by Gray Kessinger. Pretty crazy game, 13-12 final. Don't think I've ever seen a 13-12 final before. Unbelievable game. Angels came back about 3 times, blew leads like 4 times, and ended up coming out with the win. So 2 games there. I'm 1-1. One kind of bad game for the Angels and one ridiculously insane comeback. So Sunday, last game, final against the Astros. Sunday Night Baseball. Does not start off good for the Angels. Kyle Tucker, RBI single immediately in the first inning, but Mike Moustakas comes back in the second, ties it up with a solo homer. And then Trey Cabbage, the rookie who hit his first career homer the other night, hit a 2 RBI double to make it 3-1 Halos. But then the AL Player of the Week for this week, Chas McCormick, hit a solo homer to make it 3-2. And then Jake Myers, the next batter, hits a homer to make it 3-3. So another crazy back and forth game. At this point in the game, I actually had to leave because I was going to have dinner with Bob Costas, and it was awesome. Bob Costas was a great dude. I got a picture of him right here, me and Bob, sick guy, but that was awesome. But get back to the story. So it's 3-3 after these back-to-back homers. I missed the end of this game. Bottom of the 7th, Zach Neto, which was basically a hit-and-run single, base hit up the middle. He hit a base hit up the middle, and Angel Velasquez, Squid, scored from first base because he was stealing. So base hit up the middle. Squid comes all the way around to score, and Neto gets a hustle double out of it. So 4-3 Halos. And then the Angels end up loading the bases for Taylor Ward with 2 outs. And he hits a bases clearing double to make it 7-3 Halos in the 7th. So looks like me and Bobby are in the car. We're like, all right, we're good. We're about to get to dinner. We're good. We're about to go meet Bob. I'm fine. Everything's good. Chaz McCormick, 2-run homer. 7-5. In the 8th. All right, Angels get out of that. Whatever. 9th inning. Mauricio Dubon, RBI ground out, 7-6. Oh, no. We're not watching at this point. 2 outs in the 9th inning. Alex Bregman, go-ahead 2-run home run. 8-7 Astros. Are you kidding me? Angels blew the game again? Are you joking? Next batter, Kyle Tucker, 437-foot homer. Bomb. 9-7 Astros. What a joke. Like, are you kidding me? Angels pitching. But, of course, Shohei leads off the bottom of the 9th, and what does he do? Homers again to left center field for number 35 on the season, because he's just that guy. But it wasn't enough this time to spark a rally, and the Angels lose 9-8. So in a series they really should have won against the Astros. They honestly could have swept. They ended up losing 2 out of 3. So not a great start to my trip out in Anaheim. Bobby wasn't in a great mood then, obviously, but still. So then who comes to town? The Yankees. The ever so struggling Yankees. And oh boy. Sorry to the Yankees fans out there, but the Yankees do not look good. I've been watching a lot of Yankees games recently. Oh boy. So, Monday's game against the Yankees started off with a great pitching matchup. Severino actually did pitch very well. This guy right here. Redeeming himself for that last 8 run outing. I don't even know. So, Luis Severino had a good outing, and so did Griffin Canning. Griffin Canning had a career-high 10 strikeouts also. So, after 5 scoreless, the 6th inning, with 2 outs, the Yankees finally broke through. With the bases loaded, Oswaldo Cabrera hit a 2-run ground rule double to make it 2-0 Yanks. But then, immediately, in the bottom of the 6th, Matt Thaiss hit a solo homer to make it 2-1. Video of that here. And then, in the 7th inning, Gleyber hit a sac fly to make it 3-1 Yanks. So 7th inning, 3-1 Yanks, and Michael King comes into the game, right? Right first, Shohei comes up to the plate as the tying run, okay? He has a crazy long at-bat with Michael King, and we're all sitting there like, oh, he's about to go deep. Like, he's swinging for the fence on every pitch of this at-bat. And for some reason, Michael King threw him a fastball, 1-2. And Shohei absolutely annihilated it to left center field. All 3 of his home runs that I saw him hit were within 5 miles an hour of exit, or 3 miles an hour of exit velocity, 5 feet of distance, and they all went over the same exact Yokohama sign in left center field because he's just a robot. Smoked it, did a ridiculous bat flip, screaming around the bases. Most emotion I've ever seen him show. It was awesome. Tied the game in the 7th. Ridiculous. And then Michael Stefanik, yet again, pinch hit this time, RBI walk-off single in the 10th. So another amazing game that happened. 3 games out of 4 so far were ridiculously crazy. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Insane games. Shohei having a lot to do with it. Crazy comebacks, lots of runs scored, crazy stuff. So Angels walk off, take the first game against the Yankees. And then Tuesday and Wednesday were just easy Angels wins. Tuesday, Mickey Moniak went 3 for 4 with a homer. 2-run homer in the first. Gleyber ended up hitting the home run, so it was 2-1 Angels. And then Stefanik scored on a wild pitch, 3-1. And then Ohtani hit a triple because he's Shohei Ohtani. He's so good. 4-1. And then Moniak again with an RBI single. So 5-1 Halo win on Tuesday. And the final game I saw out there was Wednesday versus the Yanks. And another handedly, easy win, really, for the Halos over the Yanks. So Taylor Ward hit a 2-run homer in the first, by the way. Called that one. Said it earlier in the day. I think Taylor Ward might homer today. Said it to Bobby. You can ask him. You ever see him? Then Luis Rengifo 2-run homer in the second, 4-0 Halos. And then Moniak, RBI single, 5-0. Eduardo Escobar, RBI fielder's choice, 6-0 Halos. And then the Yankees got a couple. Stain hit a homer, 6-1. Higashioka, RBI single, 6-2. And then Franchi Cordero hit a bomb, 6-3. But then Taylor Ward, ground rule double, that actually bounced off the glove of Oswaldo Carrera in left field, trying to scoop it. It went over the fence. That was when Tommy Kahnle got taken out of the game and beat up the fan in the dugout. If you saw that clip, that's why he did it. And then the Yankees absolutely wanted nothing to do with Shohei in that last game. And I don't know why they would. He went 0-for-1 with 4 walks. So I don't know why you would, honestly, after on Monday he hit that game-time 2-run homer with a crazy bat flip, and then the day before he hits an RBI triple. So yeah, might as well walk him 4 times. So that wraps up the games that I saw out in Anaheim. And it was a pretty crazy week, honestly. 3 really wild games. And in that 3-game set with the Yankees struck out 42 times. 42 times the Yankees struck out in that series. In 3 games. It was an Angels franchise record for pitching. But, jeez. Like, some of the Yankees guys looked like they couldn't even see the ball. So then what did I do? Flew home on Thursday and Friday night. Obviously, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I had to go get another bobblehead. Can you tell which one it is? Friday night, I had to get the nasty Nestor one. But, another Yankees game for me. This one a little bit more entertaining, honestly, because they played a little bit better. So they were playing the Royals. On paper, not the most exciting matchup at this point in the season. But in the bottom of the second inning, Franchi Cordero, again, hit a bomb off the facing of the second deck down the right field line. And then this game really was more in my mind, I'm going to remember for the defensive plays that I saw. A lot of great defensive plays. 6 amazing defensive plays that I saw in this game. And this might be called the Billy McKinney game. I don't know. So Franchi hits a home run, make it 1-0 Yanks. And then Billy McKinney made this ridiculous sliding play in the left center field gap where he ran a long way and kind of slid, dove, and made this shoestring catch. Great play by Billy. And then an inning later, Oswald Peraza, playing second, made a diving play up the middle off of Bobby Witt Jr. Another great play. And then Michael Massey. I was actually sitting probably 15 rows in front of Michael Massey's family, and they were freaking out. He hit a 3-run bomb to make it 3-run Royals, and I think his mom was crying. She was going nuts. It was crazy. But then immediately in the bottom of the 4th, Billy McKinney hit a go-ahead 3-run homer on a hanging curveball to make it 4-3 Yanks. And then in the bottom of the 4th, Bobby Witt Jr. made this ridiculous running catch. I started kind of shaded up the middle because Rizzo was hitting, and Rizzo hit this foul pop down the left field line, right on the foul line, and Bobby Witt all-out sprinting over to the warning track, made a diving play on the warning track just in foul territory. Ridiculous catch there from Bobby Witt. So that was probably the play of the day. Bobby Witt ran a long way to make that play. That was pretty sweet. But then, later the next inning, Glaber hit a solo homer to make it 5-4 Yanks. And then Billy McKinney, yet again, made it a great leaping catch in the wall in right center. Almost took away a homer. It was probably going to hit the top of the wall, but he jumped, caught it just at the right time, right before it was going to make a double. And then Kyle Isbell, the center fielder for the Royals, made another great catch at the wall in his center field. So back-to-back great plays by the center fielders. And then, again, Michael Massey hit his second homer of the game to make it 5-4. And his family went nuts again. It was wild. Pretty funny. And then, so that was in the 8th inning, right? Nothing happened. The Yanks didn't score in the bottom of the 8th. So we go to the 9th. Clay Holmes comes in to close the game. And the Yanks are getting into a little bit of trouble. So I don't remember who it was, but somebody stole second with 1 out. And he ended up getting to second. Runner on second. Tying run on second with 1 out. And then there was a strikeout. They struck out the leadoff there. It was Michael Garcia. And Bobby Witt Jr. came up with the tying run on second base. And he hit a hard line drive to shortstop. And Bobby Witt Jr. runs good. So you're not going to get him at first because Volpe had to make a nice sliding backhanded play deep into the hole. And Volpe didn't even look to first. He just popped up kind of sidearm throw to third base. And the Major was able to get the tag down. But they called him safe on the field. And they were showing the replay. I took a video, and all of Yankee Stadium was going nuts because you could clearly tell on the replay that the tag got him. It was an unbelievable heads-up instinctual play from Volpe, knowing that that ball was hit way too far into the hole. He was not going to get Bobby Witt Jr. at first. He didn't even try to. He just looked up, hopped to third, and got the runner to end the game. So, amazing play there from Volpe to end the game for the Yanks. So the Yanks were able to get off that skid after losing 6 of 7 games on the road, and they got a win against the Royals there from a great play from Volpe. And they actually got a win earlier today, or yesterday, against the Royals as well. So they're looking to complete a sweep there. So that wraps up all the games that I've been to this week. And we'll have filtering in videos for all those games that I took a bunch of them. And so that's a little bit of a different episode we have this week because I have all this footage that I took from the games. And I kind of wanted to make it more of like a live, this is how my experience at the games went. So that's all we got for this week. Those are the 7 games that I went to. And so you can follow me at Framp_4 on Twitter. And make sure you follow the BV Sports Academy on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Check out all the websites we got, the bvacademy.com. And thank you so much for tuning in. And until next episode, we'll have more of a normal episode next week, as this one was kind of weird, but hopefully you liked it. And we'll see you next time. Peace out.